Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week is episode 120.
120?
Yep, and we are talking about predators, or in fact bears today.
We are indeed.
So stick around if you want to hear more.
Hello there.
I normally say hello first.
Oh, can you do it then?
Alright. Hello there.
Hello there, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yes, I'm not too bad. It's the end of my working week, so I'm now nice and relaxed and indoors out of the cold. So quite good, actually.
It's nearly Christmas, isn't it?
It's not far off Christmas. I've just been talking to your mum about it, so yeah, I know, it's frightening,
It'll snow this weekend.
This weekend?
Yep.
Not this weekend.
No,
but I think it will snow before Christmas.
It's something before Christmas anyway, isn't there?
What?
Halloween,
yes.
This is why we're doing this particularly spooky episode about bears.
Because they are the spookiest of all animals. Yes, we're...
Ghost bears.
Ghost bears.
That's polar bears, isn't it?
Yes, funny enough, that's one of the... funny enough,
try again.
That's one of
Hello.
the description. Hello? Who are you? Yes, I'm really happy.
Hello again there, Dad, or
hello.
David.
Hello there, Connor or son.
Thanks.
Yes, it is Halloween. You've just alluded to the fact it's Halloween. People who follow this podcast will know that we're not massive fans of Halloween. I'm getting more and more agitated in my job with people doing Halloween things.
We've done 2 Halloween podcasts, haven't we?
We've indulged,
Yeah.
but it's fair to say that we're not champions for Halloween.
Yeah.
Although I am doing a run tomorrow night at 6 o'clock with my running club.
You mean
which
tonight?
Is Halloween. Well, tonight, sorry, which is Halloween. No, because tomorrow night, I'm doing something very Halloweeny as well, aren't I? I'm going to see a ghostly show at the local
Right, this
haunted...
is getting confusing with all the time travel.
I know. So Sunday, when this goes out, I shall be running in the evening in a race, which is a Halloween-based race in the evening, in the dark, which is good fun. And then on the Monday, I'm going to see a show about all spooky paranormal things at a haunted theatre up the road to where we live. So that all should be fun as well. But that's about as Halloween as I'm going to get, I think.
Yeah?
Yes.
I think we'll get more Guy Fawkesy than we will Halloween.
We probably will get more Guy Fawkesy.
Although we did do a podcast on Guy Fawkes last year.
We did do a podcast, and you learnt a lot on that day, didn't you, about Guy Fawkes? Because I sat there and I gave you a lecture, if anything. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. I just got I think I'd been off sick for a little while. I wasn't feeling very well, and I managed to do 2 podcasts while I was just sort of laying there watching documentaries like I do.
One of them was vampires, wasn't it?
One of them was vampires.
That was a very good one.
That was a very good one. I thoroughly enjoyed that, even though it was vampires. But I did thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
What you been doing this week then?
I've been off.
You have, haven't you?
I got the new Spider-Man game.
Yep, good.
And I played it, and I finished it. And I got a platinum trophy on PlayStation.
Excellent.
Because I 100% completed everything. And I did that by Tuesday. And I booked for a whole week to play it.
Really? Well, you did do other things as well. You had plans for other bits and pieces. Because your nephew came down.
I was able to fit it around me finishing that game.
You were, indeed. But you needed a week just to chill out and do some other stuff. Family stuff.
Yep. I felt exhausted by some of it.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway,
chased my nephew around.
You did chase your nephew around. He came down with his mum, not on his own.
He's not old enough to come down on his own yet, is he?
But he's growing fast, isn't he? He is growing very, very fast.
Yeah, he's tall. He's 5'8".
He's 5'8".
Yep.
And able to speak 3 or 4 languages.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, none of them are English.
Yeah.
So
and
at
two
the moment,
of them are 2 different variations of Klingon. So
is it? So it is a problem. I've spent.
Did you know?
What?
You use Duolingo, don't you?
Yes.
Did you know they've got some fake languages on Duolingo?
Have they indeed? Have they really?
Have they indeed?
And that is one of them.
Like Klingon.
Have they got Klingon on there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Dutch.
I think you'll find Dutch is natural language.
Oh, right.
Do you know,
seems like one of those
Duolingo's even, when you go on it, I thought there was something wrong with the app, but they've melted the face of the Duolingo owl to make it look more Halloween-y. Unbelievable. Now, one of the things that's happened in this last week is I've fallen out of love with Wordle, and you've got me back on Tapped Out, the Simpsons
Tapped
game,
Out, yeah.
which is starting to control my life again. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that and ask for an intervention at some point if it gets too
You're not
out
meant
of
to
control.
ask for an intervention.
Well, I shall leave notes, and hopefully someone will take notice.
What? Where like tap here for donuts and written on a piece of paper?
Yeah, things like that. When I start
I'm doing
repeating
the
all
washing
the
up
phrases,
bit. Give me a donut, I'll do it faster.
yeah, exactly, and
That
then
kind of
people will know that there's an issue. But anyway, all of that aside, we're talking. This is the second in the series of Predators.
Wow, I forgot this was a series. Yeah, it is.
It is.
Predators series.
So
Hang on, sorry. Let's do a. I know we didn't do this last time, but a theme tune for the Predator series.
I think we did kind of do one.
Predators. There you go.
I think you
That's
did
it.
that last
Oh,
time,
did I?
actually. Yeah. But this time, we're not talking about sharks.
No, because that'd be.
But that'd
weird
be the
if we did
same
it
because we
twice.
that is so.
We already spoke about sharks.
We're talking
didn't
about a land animal, a land mammal. Well, you know what we're talking about because we've already said it's bears.
we? Yeah.
Right. So again,
Are we done talking about the other stuff?
I don't know. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I saw a llama.
Oh, you saw a llama.
Yep.
Yeah. See, all I've seen
And a
is
lone zebra.
and a lone. Oh, yes, you did see a lone zebra. That was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that was supposed to be there?
What,
Do
the
you reckon
zebra?
that really was a zebra?
Yes.
Okay. I've only seen I've seen a few foxes because I go into work quite early, and I've seen the cats that we've
And no,
actually
the zebra
got.
wasn't meant to be in Tesco's.
No, why
No.
would a zebra be in Tesco's?
That was just a little bit of a joke because you said it was meant to be there, and I implied that the zebra might have been in Tesco's and not in real life in a zoo.
Right, still don't really understand. Okay, bears. Right.
Bears.
So, like sharks, they're not like sharks, but like sharks,
They are like sharks. They've got teeth.
they've got teeth. No, they've got a face though. Bears have got faces.
Sharks have faces too.
Right. No, I think we established in the last one that
Did you ever Google it?
no, because if you Google,
Did you do a
have
survey?
sharks got heads or faces?
We're going to a meal tonight, and there's going to be about 8 of us. No, there's going to be about 12 of us there.
Shall we ask everybody
We'll do a
there? Do a little
survey.
bit. Okay, and I'll come back on the next one. But anyway, bears, a bit like what we talked about
And
with
bears
sharks.
do have faces, yeah?
Yeah, bears have faces because they've got
But don't have
front-facing
flippers.
faces, but they don't have those. But the idea is that again, if you find
Sorry,
yourself in a
front-facing
situation,
faces.
yeah,
But sharks have faces, maybe they're just not front-facing.
well, they haven't got face. Well, no, look, I'm not going to go down that route. We'll do the survey and then we'll come back to it. Bears, we've got to keep on bears now. So bears. This, again, is a bit of a guide and a bit of information for people. Look, if they find themselves in a situation where they're likely to bump into a bear, then this might just save their life.
See, we did a survey, didn't we, of the deadliest predators in the world.
The two of us did a survey.
The two of us did a survey. We had a discussion about which we would think are the deadliest predators. And it was agreed that we thought bears...
Well, I think...
Actually, we decided that bears weren't, but one type of bear. We had an argument about this one for a while, didn't we?
I don't know if we had an argument about it.
Was bears the one we had an argument about, or was it another one? I think it was bears.
Do you think it was bears? I
You
don't know
like-
what the argument would
You
have
were
been
like,
about,
no,
though.
because you wanted to do a whole podcast on polar bears. And I said, no, let's do a whole podcast on bears.
I don't even remember that. That might have been something...
Because let's be honest, if we did a podcast about polar bears, we would have ended up just doing a whole podcast about bears anyway.
Possibly, yeah. But when you look into it, right, there's I don't know how famous it is, but there's a sort of law of engagement with bears, and it goes a bit like this. I've written it down. If it's brown, lie down.
Down, yeah. Can I
If it's-
guess the line?
If it's black,
Wear an anorak.
no, it's close. That's very good. I like that. If it's black, fight back.
Fight back, that was it.
But if it's white,
Do a little poo.
no, good night.
Oh, right.
So if it's brown, lie down. If it's black, fight back. But if it's white, good night. As in, if it's brown, lie down. It'll probably ignore you. If it's black, the best policy is to be on the offensive. If it's white, I think you're in trouble big time. If it's a polar bear, which is a bit like
Polar bears are big, aren't they?
a rhyme my mum used to tell me about poo. Which was, and I think it must have been evolved from that. If it's brown, flush it down. If it's black, seek medical advice. But if it's white, you are probably a bird or a dog from the 1980s. So very similar.
Why were dog poos white in the 1980s?
They just work on it. I can't tell you. No one knows. It's it's one of those mysteries that no one's ever quite solved. It must be to do with something to do with their what do you call it? Food. No, that's not the word I was looking for, but their diet. That was what I was looking for.
Wasn't it to do with it being bleached by the sun as well?
No, they came out there. They were white.
All the poos were white?
All poos were white. Not all poos, but quite a lot of poos were white.
A lot of dog poos were white.
And you just don't see that now. That is a true thing, that is a true thing from my youth. You used to see lots of white dog poo and you don't see any white dog poo.
I have seen where people spray paint dog poos before to point out where they are rather than pick them up.
No, that's, yeah. No, with luminous paint and things like that, yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
Yes, really makes sense,
it sounds like
it's
something.
A poo, yeah? Watch out.
Don't pick it up, just put a nice luminous circle around it.
Council workers.
Yeah, but it is, I understand why people, it's not their job to pick it up.
What, council workers?
Well, not even council workers, really. And this is something that gets on my nerves. I trod in dog poo yesterday because someone didn't bother picking it up, and it is something that really gets on my nerves. Anyway, as far as the bears are concerned...
Wasn't it if it's yellow, let it mellow?
I don't know. Oh, that's to do with we.
Yeah, so if it's brown, flush it down. If it's yellow, let it mellow.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, wasn't it?
I think so. The bear family. Did you know there are 8 types of bears across the world? Although there are some variations within those.
Yes.
They exist on 4 of the 7 continents around the world. Can you tell me the 4?
Yes.
Where you go then?
North America.
Yes.
Europe.
Yep.
Asia.
Yep.
And... Oh, okay. Between Oceania and South America.
So which one's it going to be?
South America.
That is correct. So they're the 4.
Because the one to throw you off is a koala bear.
Well, we'll come to that at the end of this. So you've got, I mean,
They're the deadliest.
diversity. And I must admit, the more I think about bears, the more I like them. Right?
Oh, right. Do you think about them a lot?
I don't think I've ever
When was the last time you thought about bears outside this, preparing for this podcast?
Probably outside of this podcast. Rarely when I've seen one at a zoo, when I've heard about an encounter with one, but not really something that crosses my mind that often. But since I've been looking at bears online quite a lot recently, how fascinating are they? And all the different types of bears.
Have you got your favourite bear viewing website?
I haven't got
the website.
Bear Station is one of the ones I look at quite a lot.
Yep.
But no, I don't think so. I try to sort of look at all different types of things. But no, I to be honest, I would really like to see them in the wild. Although I understand seeing them in the wild is, and when we go through this, and actually towards the end of this podcast, I've got a little quiz about some bear encounters, which is a real eye opener. How my mind works. So let's think about the pandas. So can you name me?
Oh, that's one of the 8, isn't it?
What?
Pandas.
Oh yeah, sorry. What did I say then? I meant to say, let's think about these bears.
But you went, let's think about pandas.
I didn't really mean to say pandas.
Pandas.
So giant pandas, right? They're one.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, giant panda. You asked me and then you didn't give me a chance to answer.
Okay, so...
Giant panda.
We've seen them in captivity.
Yes.
Which, funny enough, in the UK as well, in Edinburgh. So, it's incredible to see. But really, they only live... sort of in China now.
All of them are owned by China, aren't they?
All of them are owned by China. They've actually sort of created areas where where the bamboo goes through, and they've got routes that they can go through between mountains and such that keeps them all safe. and because they are looked after, they are.
They probably should be extinct,
protected.
really, shouldn't they?
Well, they should be, because at one time, which I didn't know, they ate meat. Now they pretty much eat just bamboo shoots, which anything that's got a diet of one thing is going to be an issue.
Well, this is the thing, because there was this big thing with pandas where everyone was going around, all these different pandas were going around holding up iPads in the middle of town centres, saying and they were showing videos of farms and how meat is kept before you eat it. These vegan pandas, and then these vegan activist pandas.
So what you're saying is they had their big black eyes open to what goes on in the meat industry, and that's why they went.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they swapped to bamboo only diet. I think they eat a few other little bits, but mainly
It's a bit
bamboo.
silly though, isn't it, to have a diet of just one thing?
But it is, and that's
Koalas
why
are the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
Eucalyptus.
And that's why they're in such trouble, and that's why it has to be controlled as such. Because you're right, they would have been, they'd have become extinct, not because, their food source, I don't know if their meat source that they had, whether that altered because of man, whether something happened and that's why I don't actually know why it swapped over. And I don't know how long ago.
What was their meat source?
I don't know. I'd imagine it would be rodents and things like that.
Maybe what the problem was it was humans.
No,
And
as far
we
as I know, they have never attacked and eaten a human. But I stand corrected if someone knows of an example of that happening. So they eat for 16 hours a day. That's another thing, isn't it? Sitting there eating 16, they must sleep for 8 hours because they don't do any other stuff, do they? Because we know that's another big problem for them. I think they come into season for about 5 minutes every 24 years or something like that. And they only live till 22. So that creates a real problem about the population. They've got a subspecies as well called the Chingling panda, which is the area that they're found in. They estimate there's only a max of about 300 remaining in the wild. But they look exactly like pandas, but instead of having a black, they have brown on their face. And that sounded a bit weird. What I mean is, where you look at a panda and it's black and white, it's brown and white.
Yeah.
But it looks exactly the same. I think they're slightly smaller as well.
Did you know there is a job out there, a panda cuddler, and that's people's jobs.
Oh, yeah, I know. I think we talked about this before. I've seen videos of this, and they are quite mischievous. When you see the panda sort of nurseries that they have, they do like to muck about and play. And when you see someone trying to sweep up in their things and they're grabbing hold of their legs and they're putting them... But yeah, what a job
reality,
that is.
The reason they're not extinct is because of human intervention, because of China's intervention.
Certainly the panda is, yeah. Certainly the giant panda is definitely that one. But we've only covered a giant panda and one of the subspecies. We'll move on to the others in a second.
Every day, in every way, the things people do, the things people say, just irritate me, please sedate me. These are the things that really get my goat.
People will put up Halloween decorations, which makes approaching a house like an SAS assault course. Right, we've had the giant pandas and their subspecies.
And the not-so-giant pandas.
Do you remember what they were called? It was
Chinglings.
Yeah, well done, Chinling panda. Right, then you've got spectacled bears.
Ah.
Now, do you know anything about spectacled bears?
Yep.
Yep. What do you know about them?
Ah, well, eyesight, not 20/20. No, they come from the area of...
Well, one of the continents there, particularly, there's a very famous spectacled bear that you'd be very familiar with.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh.
No.
The
other one.
Paddington.
Paddington.
Ah,
So
he's from
Paddington's
Peru.
a spectacled bear, yeah, and from Peru. deepest, darkest Peru. So they're found in South America in the Andes, mainly found in, and this is wonderful, cloud forests. Cloud forests.
Koala is a marsupial. Carry on.
I
not a
told
bear.
you not to talk about that until the end. They're excellent climbers. They don't hibernate because there's a thought that bears hibernate. I mean, pandas don't hibernate either. Some bears do.
Well, it depends
I
where
think
they are.
living in cloud forests and being a spectacled bear is a bit of a problem, really.
Yeah,
Because I
it's
know
like
when I open the
struggling to
dishwasher when
see.
it's working, I can't see anything. Right, but they are.
That was a little thing there about the dishwasher not working as
It
well.
was really weird. I shouldn't really talk about
Maybe
that. Mum gets
Monday
really
will be
upset.
working. Yeah,
She what?
after it was put in wrong, it led to the door being pulled.
Yes,
Sort of.
it's all gone very wrong, isn't it? So you've got the spectacled bears in South America. You've got sloth bears. And now you talked about eyesight. They've got really poor eyesight and hearing, but an incredible sense of smell, so they can find their food and avoid predators and such. And they're in southern Asia,
And they're sloths.
in India. Well,
Or
they're
sloth bears.
very sloth bears. They are bears, but they're sloth-like. I think they've got very long claws like a sloth has, and they're very slow moving.
What's a sloth?
I don't know what sort of a categorisation a sloth would be under. It's not a bear. I'd have to look at that. That's another thing to write down on the list.
Giant sloths are extinct, aren't they?
Giant sloths are extinct, and bears. There used to be huge bears, although some of these are big enough. The sloth bears have long, shaggy fur. Then, don't know why I said it like fur. Sun bears.
Sun bears love sun bears. They look
Now-
like Labradors.
They do look like Labradors. They look like little people in little costumes. Our local zoo has got 2 sun bears, haven't they? And they're absolutely beautiful. They've got that sort of orange. They're black with the sort of orange crescent underneath on their chest. They're the smallest of the bears. Got very, very long tongues to get termites and things like that.
Yep.
But they sleep high up in canopies. I think they're one of the ones that sleep the highest up in trees. Very adept at doing that. I think there's an actual word for animals that sleep up in the top of canopies and stuff.
I feel like that was the start of a
They
joke.
are in no.
It's not the start of a joke.
They're endangered, and they're found. I mean, obviously we know ones that are in Colchester, but they're mainly found in Asia. Right, I've got a list of bears here.
There's
It's
two
a
that live
bit
in
like
Essex,
this
but the
when I
rest of
said
them-
about the deserts. God, I'm at it again. So I'm just going to go through these. So the Asiatic black bear has a white moon-shaped mark on their chest, so they're often called moon bears. They're in Asia.
Yeah, got that from the Asiatic.
Good one. Good climbers, and they do hibernate. So then you're starting to get to these animals that hibernate, which is bizarre when you think about what they do. Then you've got the American black bear. Now it's the
It's found in North America, that one.
third biggest bear in existence, found in North America, Alaska, and Mexico. It's weird,
Alaska is
but
all
so-
of those things you said there were North America, by the way.
Well, not Mexico.
Yep.
Well, North America. Well, what I'm saying is that in mainland USA and then Alaska and then Mexico, you find them. So all across the North America.
So Canada as well.
I don't know. Now you've said something and it's made me doubt myself. Anyway,
Why would they go to Alaska
my
and not
great-
Canada?
I don't know. My great fact about this is in the east of that region, they're predominantly black. In the west of the region, they're predominantly brown. And in Alaska, they're a silver blue colour. So they're all American black bears, but depending on where they are across that country is the I mean, it's not 100% all the time, but they have this particular
Is that
change.
the golden
to-
retriever thing, though, again, isn't it? Not golden Labradors.
What? Oh, because you can get chocolate labs and you can get...
Black labs. and
I guess
golden
so,
labs.
but it looks specifically about the region that they're in,
Well,
which I guess is the
humans as well,
It's like
isn't it?
humans anyway. They hibernate and emerge roughly 30% lighter than they were when they started. So they obviously, like animals, when they do hibernate, they tend to stock up on stuff and then they go in quite heavy. but then during that period of time, they lose loads.
Oh, you
and
mean
loads of weight.
lighter as in weight?
Yeah, not
I
in
thought-
colour.
I thought you
Sorry,
meant
I did start talking about they're light
thinking-
brown.
so they had a tan.
light brown, grey, and and sort of a turquoise.
So they got a tan over the summer and then they lost it during
Exactly.
winter.
Then you've got the cinnamon bear. They're often mistaken for grizzly bears. It is thought that they have evolved to take on the appearance of the grizzly to
Now, you've not
frighten
mentioned grizzly bears yet.
potential predators. Yeah, I haven't yet.
Potential.
To frighten potential predators. So they reckon they've evolved to look like grizzly bears, the cinnamon bears. So it's a defence mechanism. That seems a bit weird to me. It's like,
I guess if it works, it works.
If it works,
doesn't
it works. Then you've got the commode bear in Canada, which is kind of a black bear, but it's not black, it's white. And they call it a lot of people call it a spirit bear. But it's not an albino bear. It's actually, there is some sort of deficiency.
Melanin deficiency.
Yeah, but it's not an albino bear. But they look beautiful, but I think they're fairly rare now as well. Now, there's the brown bear or the grizzly bear. Second biggest of all the bears. You find them across the northern hemisphere. They're quite distinct because they've got this big hump of muscle between their shoulder blades.
And they're brown.
Yeah, they're quite dark brown. They hibernate. And then you've got subspecies of that. So you've got Kamchatka brown bear in Russia, live in the mountains, the Himalayan
Was
brown
that the one
bear.
that Vladimir Putin would ride?
Yeah, I think he often rides a Kamchatka bear. Chatka bear. They eat a lot of salmon. The Himalayan brown bear, as I said, in the mountain ranges. The Syrian brown bear, which I don't
Where's
believe
that
can be found in Syria anymore.
Whoa.
But it's unusual because it's got white claws. It's the smallest of the brown bears, but it's found in the Middle East. You've got the Tibetan blue bear, and it's black and brown fur, but it's got its muzzle and parts of it have got this sort of blue tinge to them as well, which is quite nice. I thought. And then you've got
Is tinge a word?
a tinge, yeah. Yeah, tinge is a word. Then you've got a polar bear. Now, this is the one we talked about. So the polar bear, pretty much its diet is just seals.
Seals.
Seals. Lives on the Arctic sea ice and is the biggest of all the bears. Right? So now
big
we come
feet. What size shoe?
I don't know. But I've got some stats on the heaviest of these that
Now,
are
the
on record,
polar bear is
which is incredible.
Polar bear was the deadliest bear. It's the whole reason we're doing this.
Yeah, it is the deadliest bear. It's the one that has, if you like that rhyme. Although we laughed about that, like that rhyme. Pretty much, if you have an encounter with a polar bear, you probably won't live to see the next day or whatever the sun come up. I don't
Well,
know,
to be
something
fair, the
like that.
sun doesn't come up that often in the northern hemisphere.
Well, exactly. So I'm just edging my bets. So not bears. Koala bears are not bears.
No, they're
marsupials.
marsupials.
The Asian bear cat is not.
It's a
a cat. A water bear. It's not a bear. It's a little sort of microscopic thing.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. But it's called a water bear. So
Are you talking about that tiny little
yeah.
thing that attacks cells?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called a water bear. Red panda. It's not a real panda.
No.
I'm not sure. I think it's not really, doesn't sit in many things as class.
It's like lemur, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Bear Grylls. he's not a bear. He's not a grill. He's a man.
Thank you.
And the Bare Naked Ladies, who are actually banned.
Banned. And it's spelt differently.
It is spelt differently. Just to finish off, I've got some stats here. The heaviest polar bear ever recorded stood 12 feet tall. So we are a little bit under 6 foot, both of us, right? So
nice of you
it's
to finally admit that.
more than double our height. Can you imagine? That is just...
Should we stand on each other's shoulders in a bit?
Yeah, we'll do that in a bit to get a real sort of idea of what
Is
that
this
means.
standing on hind legs?
Yes.
Okay.
But, I mean, to be confronted by something like that. Anyway, 12 feet tall and weighed 2,209 pounds.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
immense.
What's that in kilograms?
I don't know what it is in kilograms, because when I put kilograms, you then say, I wasn't even listening, you're saying too many things.
I mean, it's true. I haven't listened to most of it, but
The
carry on.
biggest grizzly bear ever recorded stood 10 feet tall. So that's 2 Annies.
Yeah.
Right? So
That
we'll
is-
get her to stand on our own shoulders,
Yep.
and we'll see what that looks like.
She's a
that
bit tall.
weighed.
In fairness, she's a bit taller than 5 foot.
Okay.
She's
And
5'1.5". I
That
think.
weighed 1,600 pounds, and the biggest black bear ever recorded stood 7 foot 11 inches tall, so just shy of 8 foot, which again is like an incredible size, and weighed 902 pounds.
So that's like an Auntie Mavis and a half.
Well, that would, yeah. So the only other thing I've got on here, and I'm conscious of time as well, is the future, right?
Ah,
Right.
time travelling bears.
No, not time travelling bears, but there has been talk about reintroducing bears. Now, obviously, bears exist across the globe, but in the UK, the last time there was bears in the UK was in the Middle Ages, about 1,500 years ago, right? But there
I remember,
obviously were
yeah.
bears. Brown bears there would have been. But they talked about reintroducing them. Now,
It's like
obviously,
the whole wolves thing as well.
well, this is the thing as well. They've declined that. I said it's not a good idea. It wouldn't be a good idea, and you can understand why it wouldn't be a good idea. They've reintroduced animals like there's wild boar now. There's wolves. They're talked
yeah,
about.
they've reintroduced wolves. They've got play Aston Villa as well. So
Yeah,
Wolves.
wolves. Yeah,
Yeah.
Villa, very good.
yeah, thank
Beavers,
you.
we're big fans of beavers, and
Yeah.
we've had some beaver encounters, which have been incredible. So that's something that's been a success, but it's all fairly controlled, because now it's a bit like Jurassic Park. Who could know what people live today, and like, for instance, bears, if they brought bears back now, how they would interact with people today. If the way it is in other countries, anything to go by, not very good. Because of the fact that the bears' habitat, their food sources diminished, and, some of it global warming, certainly for polar bears, but that could arguably be down to us as well. But, we encroach on their territory. You now find there's loads more human-bear encounters.
Human bears.
Human bears.
People with bear
than
costumes.
there ever has been before. And that is
West Ham
why
mascot's a bear.
he is. Do you know what his name is?
Bubbles.
Yep. Bubbles the bear. I'm not so frightened about an encounter with Bubbles the bear, but you can understand. I mean, you see a lot of videos and that now of polar bears walking through the streets and towns, because they're coming away from their normal habitat to try and find food.
And this is the thing, like,
And the
you've
more they
seen-
do that,
and this might sound very different, but foxes, for example,
Yeah.
foxes walk around the UK streets. Now, I did hear something the other day from a made-up land called the Neverlands. Neverland.
yeah, the Dutch,
Netherlands,
the
Dutch.
the language
They
that doesn't
don't
exist.
they don't have foxes walking around.
Did they not?
No,
They don't even have urban foxes.
they don't have foxes. So
Well, why? Because I would
I don't know
imagine
if
they're
they're foxes.
European, but foxes are across Europe, surely.
not all of Europe.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more of the sort of climate and such. That well, that's interesting. I know
Anyway.
there's badgers across
Yeah.
Europe, but they're different kind of badgers, like foreign ones for a start. But but it's
Yeah, don't like mashed potatoes so much.
don't know mashed potato.
Anyway, foxes, but they have become urban because that's what they need to do.
Mm,
So it's the same thing with bears. At some point, they become urban.
they certainly will.
There's actually a lot of brown bears across America that you often see things going through bins,
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, and that's what I'm saying. That they're
high-fiving drivers and
they're
stuff.
coming
you seen
out-
that video?
No, I haven't seen that. Is that a real bear doing that?
There's
By the
bears
way, have you
standing
ever
on
seen a
hind
moose?
legs. And not in real life.
But have you ever seen a video of a moose? They're huge.
Yeah, they are big.
Yeah,
They're like deer that are on steroids.
they are like deer on steroids.
Yeah.
Right. We might
Anyway.
have to talk about mooses another time.
Or meese.
Meese, yeah.
There's 3 bears, and there's like they're standing on their hind legs, and then one's like edging close to this car, and this person's got a hand out the car window, and it goes and whacks the guy's hand, and then runs off. Like high fives him, then runs off.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they're, to a certain extent. I mean, I know a relation of mine went into Canada, and that you have to be very careful because obviously you're going through bear country, and
country bear jamboree.
Well, they can be quite vicious.
Wonder what's going on. You playing the
Right,
banjo?
I'm done.
And just to clarify, Wolves are actually have played Newcastle this weekend, not Villa.
Oh no, you've confused. Everybody was scrambling for their papers then to try and look to see
who reads newspapers.
People, bears,
bears
read newspapers. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Let's have a little sing
Little
song.
musical interlude.
Yep.
Okay then. Well, I've written another song.
Yep.
And this song is called "Bears Do in the Woods."
Ah,
Right. Now
they cough in the woods.
Yeah, well, kind of.
They
What
kind
it's
of cough in the
basically
woods.
about. No, what it's basically about is that bears. I understand that bears get really annoyed about the fixation that humans have about what they do in the woods.
What do they do in
Their
the woods?
toilet in the woods.
Oh,
So
they have toilets in the
it's
woods.
a phrase in. Will you shut up for a second? There's a phrase, isn't there, that people use? Do bears in the woods?
The bears what in the woods?
I'm not going to say it because you'll have to bleep it out. I can say it if you want. Do you want me to say it? Shall I say it now? No. Anyway, so I've written a song from the bear's perspective about that.
About what?
About that.
About what?
Pooing in the woods.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Shall I play the song?
Yes, please.
Why are people so fixated about the way we do our toilet? Like you've never ever poo-pooed and you just want to enjoy it. Pick your favourite place and squat down so you can coil it and leave us in peace in the woods. You seem to think that we are all cuddly and cute, that we look like people wearing man-made suits. But you still think we're something that you have the right to shoot for a trophy or a nice big rug. We're brown bears, black bears, sometimes even white bears, covered in fur and faster than a deer. We're meat eaters, veg eaters, anything we want eaters. Try to get a selfie, it will end in tears. Sleep through the winter, think you call it hibernation. Wait to find the trees are gone due to deforestation. Not a great example for a first world nation. I wonder how you sleep at night. So when you see a bear, you should make yourself look big. Make a ton of noise with a saucepan and a lid, or run away screaming and sacrifice your kids. That sounds like something you would do. We're brown bears, black bears, sometimes even white bears, covered in fur and faster than a deer. We're meat eaters, veg eaters, anything we want eaters. Try to get a selfie, it will end in tears.
So when we are busy making stool, dropping the cups off at the pool, releasing chocolate hostages behind a tree, there really isn't anything for you to see.
We're brown bears, black bears, sometimes even white bears, covered in fur and faster than a deer. We're meat eaters, veg eaters, anything we want eaters. Try to get a selfie, it will end in tears. We're brown bears, black bears, sometimes even white bears, covered in fur and faster than a deer. We're meat eaters, veg eaters, anything we want eaters. Try to get a selfie, it will end in tears.
Game time.
What a lovely song now.
Did you
It's
enjoy
yes.
that? Did you?
It's time for a game, though.
It is time for a game.
And you alluded to a quiz.
There is a quiz. Basically, it's not a multiple choice quiz.
not a multiple
It's
choice
a true or false quiz.
It's
Right.
like myth or real.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, it's bear stories or barefaced lies.
Nice.
So, which of these bear encounters are true and which have been made up? I've got a sting.
Have you?
Yeah. Could you play it?
Yep.
Deep breath, now concentrate. You'll need your wits about you as I pose these questions to you. Look sharp, you need to more than try. Is it the truth or just a bare-faced lie?
What's a lovely sting?
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Right, so this is nice and simple.
You just sat there and looked at me until I said, what a lovely sting.
Oh no, because that's what you've got to say. So this is, you understand then the premise of this. There's been bear
A bear is pooed
I've
in the
been
woods.
looking to bear encounters around the world, right?
Bear encounters.
Bear encounters, and I've got a number of scenarios here, and I want you to tell me whether this is true or false.
Oh, it's like a
So is it?
Aliens episode.
Yeah, to a certain extent. And the sharks. In the sharks one, it was true or false. So are these bear stories, real bear stories, or bare-faced lies?
It's like UFO or UFO.
Yeah, things that I've made up. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Scenario number 1. A family
How many questions are there?
10.
All right.
A family return home to their house in rural America to find that in a reverse Goldilocks scenario, a bear has broken into their house, eaten their cereal, smashed up their furniture, and was now asleep on one of their beds. Is that true or is that false?
What was the thing? True or barefaced lie?
Yeah, so it's a bear story or a barefaced lie.
It's a bear story.
That is, in fact, a barefaced lie. I made that one up. Okay. Off to a great start. You're going to get the ump now.
I'm already grumpy.
Scenario number 2.
Yep. Scenario number 2.
After a man had his pet bear taken from him and placed in a zoo, he decides to enter the zoo at night and release the bear so that the keepers aren't suspicious. I'm going to read that again.
Okay.
After a man had his pet bear taken from him and placed in the zoo, he decides to enter the zoo at night and release the bear. So that the keepers aren't suspicious, he replaces the bear with himself in a bear disguise. Is that a bear story or a barefaced lie?
A bear story.
That is a bear story. It is true. Okay. You ready for scenario number 3?
Yep.
A bespectacled bear called Lucille, who had failing eyesight, had a pair of glasses specially made for her by her owners. Is that a bear story or a barefaced lie?
A barefaced lie.
That is a barefaced lie. You're absolutely right. So you're doing all right now. That's 2 out of 3. Scenario number 4. A polar bear was put under heavy anaesthetic while having reconstructive surgery on its teeth after it wandered into town and ate a unicorn ornament from someone's garden. The owner of the ornament put it down to the bear mistaking the unicorn for a narwhal.
Barefaced lie.
That is a barefaced lie. Yeah, that's all right. You're doing all right now. You had one slip up. You're doing good. You're doing good. Scenario number 5. Whilst running a marathon, a woman competitor was attacked by a bear with only a few miles to go. She not only fought the bear off, but she finished the marathon despite having sustained heavy bruising and numerous cuts.
Bear.
You think that's a bear story?
Bear story.
That is a bear story. Well done. That's absolutely true. Scenario number 6.
We're going through this quite quick.
You are. Shall I slow down?
No.
Scenario number 6. A community came together when a bear regularly seen in the neighbourhood lost all its fur from alopecia. The local church group knitted a suit to keep the poor bear warm, and the bear lived happily for many more years. Is that a bear story or a bare-faced lie?
I almost feel like I should give a moment so that it can
Because
appear that
you're
I'm giving
leaping
some
in here. You're
thought.
doing well, but you're leaping in there.
Barefaced lie.
It is a bear. Oh, I thought some of these might catch you out. I think that's totally feasible that a local church group knitted a bear some clothes.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. Don't know what that means. Scenario number 7. A woman who was doing a yoga workout in her backyard felt a licking on her neck while she was performing a downward dog position. Thinking it was the neighbour's dog, she carried on, eventually changing into the warrior pose, where she realised that the licks had actually come from a bear that had been passing by. She immediately ran into the house and locked the doors.
Barefaced lie.
That is a bear story.
Oh, no.
That's true. That was a woman doing a yoga in her backyard.
Was it actually a downward dog she was doing?
Yes, that's what it said when I read it.
Right.
Scenario number 8. We are whizzing through these quite quickly. A man and his wife were hiking in the woods. I'll try that again. A man and his wife who were hiking in the woods thought their time... Who were hiking in the woods. Thought their time was up when they were confronted by a grizzly bear. But as the bear stood up on its hind legs, it knocked itself out on a low branch of a nearby tree, and the couple were able to escape to tell the tale.
Barefaced lie.
That is a bear story. That's true. I know we've only got their word for it, but it is true. That was.
I feel like I've said barefaced lie for most of these. So.
You have said quite a lot of them.
Did you eat all the Maltesers yesterday?
No.
Okay.
What's that? Is that a bare truth or a barefaced lie?
A barefaced lie.
It is a barefaced lie. I did eat all the Maltesers yesterday. The penultimate scenario. Question 9. A couple were in their backyard sunbathing by their pool. I'm going to start that again. I seem to be having a lot of trouble reading these. A couple who were in their backyard, in their backyard sunbathing by the pool, were given the fright of their lives when a bear came out of nowhere and charged at them. They managed to flee into the house, where they stood watching as the bear called to its family, who emerged from the trees, and then spent an hour messing about in their pool before heading back in the woods.
Now, this is a very common thing. It feels like the way you've said it is a barefaced lie, but I'm going to say bear story because this happens all the time.
It is a bear story. It does happen quite often. But this was the report they gave, that they watched as the bears just frolicked in their pool for about an hour and then got out, dried themselves off, changed, and went off into the woods. No, that bit I made up. And the very last one.
They did try to sell something change.
The very last one. Are you ready for this? I'm sad that this is over. I was really looking forward to these. Question or scenario number 10. In 1973, 2 performing bears escaped from a circus and disappeared into the local woodland. A detailed search of the area failed to find them, but a year later, a cyclist who was touring the area stopped for a break, and while he was sitting by the side of the road, a bear, presumably one of the ones that had escaped from the circus a year earlier, climbed on his bike and rode off.
Barefaced lie.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a barefaced lie. And that is the end of my little bear quiz.
Scenarios.
Sorry, the little bear stories, and then I realised that was actually something you used to watch when you were younger.
Yeah, it was.
Did you enjoy that?
I did. Do you want me to tell you the thing I was going to tell you afterwards?
Go on, tell me.
So typically, when it comes to some scenarios that you make up,
Yeah.
they tend to have more detail in them.
Yeah.
You do tend to add more detail to the ones that are made up.
to try and make them more believable than they are.
Just to make them more funny or believable, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll take that in
I'm not saying you should
consideration
stop
for the
doing it.
next Predators,
But it did throw me off.
which I understand. I don't know what the next Predators one is, but But
I don't think we planned it. Have we?
I'll probably do a true or false one on that as well.
Have we planned the next Predators
I
one?
don't think we have. We know the actual animals that we're going to be featuring, but we haven't chosen which ones in the next one.
Isn't it seagulls?
No, that's not that. That's something completely different.
All right. We are doing a podcast about seagulls.
We're doing a musical about seagulls, I understand.
A podcast, musical, same thing.
Right, okay. So that's it. Another one gone. What a shame. I enjoyed that. I like bears.
Yep.
Do you like bears?
I like bears as well. But
What's
you know
your
what?
favourite bear? If a bear was to write in, right, what
Yep.
bear would you prefer to write in, and how would they write in and contact us?
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, so Winnie the Pooh, if Winnie the Pooh wanted to get in touch with us, how would he do it?
Well, I was about to get onto that
Okay.
because I was about to say us finishing the quiz earlier has given me time to read out all these messages we've received.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
so I'll read this message that we've received. Okay, so if you do want to contact us,
Yeah,
you can do
predictable.
so on the website, fatherandsundays.com, and go to the contact us page, or you can email us at contact@fatherandsundays.com.
Yeah.
You can also message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, X.
We're
all
on
that kind of
all
stuff.
the media,
Yeah.
main media ones.
But-
I imagine we're up to date with everything on those.
Nope. Like, follow, share on those. But all the podcasts are available on our website, but you can get them on your chosen podcast platform as well.
Dip in.
Yeah.
There's something
Dip
for
in?
everyone.
What, you
there.
dipping?
Yeah, I mean, you might like bears, you might like Charles Dickens, you might like submarines. You know, vampires. You might be interested in aliens. You might like theme parks.
You might like pets.
You might have pets. You might like books. You might like films.
You might like camping. You might like camping again.
You might like camping twice. There's so much. There's so much for everybody. You might want to learn about superstition. You might want to learn about urban myths. You know, everything's there for you.
You might want a song about having a yellow bucket on his head.
Yep, there's a plethora of songs, quizzes, interesting information. You name it, it's there. Although not everything, because we're still going and we've got more to actually give you.
Like next week's episode.
So next week's episode is...
Chemistry.
Now that you might think chemistry. I haven't thought about chemistry since I was at school. But this is about the chemistry...
No, careful what you say here. We're
No.
not saying it's about the chemistry of it.
No, we're not saying it's about the chemistry of it because that might get us into trouble. And I've already been warned about this. But it's Guy Fawkes Night. In the UK, that's a big thing for us.
Yeah.
And we thought...
Fireworks, bombs and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've thought about the fact we've done things about Guy Fawkes. We thought we'd look at other stuff. So we just thought, what can we talk about? We're going to talk about chemistry. So don't worry, it won't get you in any trouble. It should be some fun, and we'll see you next week.
How-to guide of how to build a firework.
No, we're not doing that.
DIY firework building.
No. Definitely not. I'll get myself arrested. So, is that it? I think it
Yeah,
is.
I believe so.
So, until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Bye.